Good morning. It's Tuesday, March 17th. It's just after 10. This is an open door, and welcome to everyone who is present now and everyone who joins later through the internet, through the ethers. Know that you're welcome however you join and whenever you join. This is a morning where we take a lesson in A Course in Miracles and we look at it from a non-dual point of view through a book I wrote called Training Wheels. And this morning we're going to use some of the language from Training Wheels and some of the language that has just come to all of us as we have continued in our awakening over the years we've been together. So, and as has become the habit, it seems, I'll start us off and then lead us just gently into a 15 or 20-minute meditation on this lesson. So the lesson today is, I am as God created me. I am as God created me. So find a place that's comfortable for you to sit where you can relax and not be worried about anything. I'm going to turn my screen off, and you can turn your screen off if you'd like, which allows us not to worry about what we look like or what's going on around us. You can keep your screen on if you want, whatever's comfortable. As I said, we'll do a 15-minute meditation or so. And I will be guiding us a little bit through this meditation, but most of it will be just sitting in silence and what Adyashanti calls open awareness, or just watching what arises in the mind. And at the same time, we will be intermittently repeating the lesson to ourselves, bringing us back to the words of the lesson so that they can inform us more deeply. One of the things that I was reminded of at 3:30 this morning was, as we repeat the words of the lesson and we allow it to deepen, new things open up that we didn't see before. New things in the words, new emphasis in a word, or a word subtly changes its meaning, or transforms its meaning, or enlarges its meaning. So we'll be seeing what happens with that today. I am as God created me. Life and light and joy and peace abide in me because I am as God created me. This lesson, if taken to heart, is the only truth about yourself that you will ever need. I am as God created me. If you can accept this single statement about yourself, you will know your oneness, you will know your innocence, you will know your salvation. Please do not mistake the simplicity of this lesson. Its depth may very well be beyond your present experience or your current experience. We are as God created us, and there is only one of us. We have been given the full creative power of our Creator, and hence our creation of this dream world. And still, there is one thing that we did not do and we cannot do. We did not create our Creator, and we did not create ourselves. Rest for a moment and let this sink in. I know that I am, and that is all I can know. We cannot choose to escape the love of God, except in a dream. We cannot choose to escape the care of God. We cannot choose to escape our union with God and with all creation, because we did not create it. We are, as God created us. We are our brother and our sister. We are the wind that blows through the trees. We are the dog that barks down the street. We are the acorn and the tree that lives as pure potential within the seed. And we are the soil that nourishes and supports the seed itself. We are the rain, and we are the sun. We are the molecules of the air that we breathe, and we are the space between the molecules. We are the sun and the stars, and we are the space between the stars. We are matter, and we are antimatter, because we are as God created us. The vastness of what we are is sometimes impossible to imagine. And because we can't imagine it, sometimes fear creeps in, even just a small sliver of fear. I don't know what I am. The apparent complexity of it all seems too grand. But we are as God created us. God does not know death, and God did not create it. God does not know separation or sin, and there is no place for shame or guilt in any of God's creations. We are not being tested here. We are not being measured here, but we are free to test and measure ourselves. What would God test or measure? We have not been asked to work out the plan for our return to love. That is beyond us. We can, however, recognize it in ourselves and in others. How simple and profound that we are as God created us. I am as God created me. I am. I am as God. I am as God creates me now, in this very moment. Take a minute and place your awareness gently on your breath. And use your breath as the anchor. The breath is what God created us with, breathing into us, breathing into matter. The breath is the first thing we do, and it's the last thing we do. Use the breath as your centering device. Use it as your anchor. And with the anchor of the breath, we allow the awareness that we are to deepen, and we abandon all effort and rest as the witness, as the consciousness. We watch the breath and we go behind the breath to notice that we are the container. We are the container for God's creation. And we simply allow what arises to arise. Repeat the lesson to yourself and watch the breath. If thoughts arise, just witness them. There's no need to find any meaning or make any meaning of the thoughts. You might say, I am now as God creates. And be still and know yourself as all that is arising in your awareness now. This lesson says, I am as God created me. But the truth is, I am as God creates through me now. Whatever is arising now, whatever thoughts or feelings or sensations, you are that which is aware of them. I am that I am as God's being. I am as God created me. This is very similar to the guide's use of word. I am word. I am word as my knowing. I am God's being. I am word through all that arises in my awareness now. I am word through my knowing. I am as God creates me now. As we sit, experiencing all that arises, if it pleases you, try to extend your awareness into the space around you. And notice the sounds. Notice the sensations. If it pleases you, try to imagine that you are the space in which all that is around you seems to exist. The table, the chair, the wind. If it pleases you, try to accept and notice what happens when you do. That all of this is God's creation, and that your awareness of all of it and your agreement to all of it is your participation as God's being. I am as God created me. I am as God creates me now. And I say yes. And when I say yes, peace and love and maybe joy abide in me now. We are here to remember what we are in truth. What a splendid journey this has been, to go so far away from home and find our way back. This is salvation. This is our purpose above all others. I am as God creates me now, and all that I see before me is God's creation, and there is nothing that is not. I am word through the experience of all that arises in my awareness. This meditation is a time that we set aside to go more deeply into our experience as God's being. It's a time that we rest in, we explore in, and we experience in the silence of complete allowing. We don't have to live this way in our daily life, but we carry the knowing of what we experience in these silent communions. We carry it into daily living. As you go about the day, it would not be unhelpful to remember that you are as God created you. I am as God created me. And all that arises is as God creates. And our deepest service to the Creator is to share in the creation. When you're ready, just slowly and gently come back into this present moment, into your body. Let the world intrude a little bit more and more. It really came to me in the morning how similar this lesson is to Word, I Am Word. And I got it a little more deeply. Word, I am Word through my experience. Word, I am Word through what is arising in my experience now. I am as God creates me now. And in these meditations, it's so helpful because we are allowing ourselves the silence and the spaciousness to really sink in and rest as the witness. And to see that we do not think our own thoughts, that they come and we experience them in the beingness that we are. They arise. There's no doer, there's no maker. And the highest service that we can offer is to just have the experience of them, knowing that we are God's being. We don't just experience them and let them blow us around like the wind. We experience them within the container of our knowing what we are. Right? And when we know what we are, we simply are. An obvious question is, well, how did I get here? And that is really beyond the mind's knowing. So we rest in being as God creates us. And what an exciting time to be. So we can, that's all I have to say. I'm happy to hear from other people, but we don't have to say anything at all. We can sit together. Good morning.
Richard's hand, yeah.
Yeah, good morning, Richard.
Morning, everyone. Happy St. Patrick's Day for those that celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, a great lesson. I like to complicate things, so I tend to take it a little further than you expressed in your meditation. The Course says that we chose to come here. Now, who was the chose to come here? So, I've come to believe what works for me is first we have to wake up. And that's what we do when we recognize we're not the separate self. not the body. Now, what did we come here for? Once we wake up, now we have a mission. We have a reason to be being here. And we need to figure out what that is. And for most of us, that's quandary, I think, because we think it's this, we think it's that. We finally get to a point, I finally got to a point where I said, no, I don't want to figure it out. I want to be guided. So if any of the truth, all those malarkey about being God is this and God is that and God created this and God created that and we made this and we made that. Blah, 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 blah. So to me, God is business, not physical energy, expressing itself naturally by extending itself for eternity. Some call it God, some call it love, some call it whatever label we want on it. It's an energy that just pervades everything that is. And we are, as dream figures in the dream, but that's one concept of word dream. We're manifestations of that energy. And so we're all trying to figure out why we're here. We all want to be happy, joyous, and free. We all want to be healthy. We all want to enjoy life. And when it doesn't work out the way we want it, we go, why me? Why are you picking on me? Why is God picking on me? Why isn't my life full of life, joy, and happiness? And we spend the rest of our life trying to figure that out. And then we learn over the years, we just accept that everything as it is, without judgment, and we'll be at peace. And that's really what I wanted. And with peace comes love, naturally. It flows through you, through me. So I am as God created me because I am that energy. I'm not this figure. We're all manifestations of the one energy and the love that we label it because we like that word that seems cozy and warm and nice. And that's why I also was attracted to consciousness, levels of consciousness and levels of being, densities of being. So that's where I'm at. I don't expect anyone else to agree with me. That's just my path. We're all on our own path. We're all trying to figure it out as best we can. And we all are full of love, and that's what we are in truth. So I'm trying to just be that love, moment to moment. Love us all, and thanks for letting me share.
Thank you, Richard. I would like to say something in response to what Richard contributed. In these meditations, I'm trying to offer a space for us to have a direct experience of what we are. Because I can read the lessons and I can tell myself the story. But I believe that we can have a direct experience. We could call it, I can touch the face of God. God doesn't have a face and we're not touching anything, but it's a good metaphor. And how do I touch the face of God? I can only do that going in and becoming silent, because that's where pure potential rests. And all these are just words. And when I can touch that space and perhaps rest in that space and know myself, that unlimited, undefinable space, I don't need any story. And once I wear the path back to that through my own experience over and over again, I become more rooted in that beautiful, I will call it soil, that foundation of aliveness. And that's what I think this lesson offers for us. And now, good morning, Patricia.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's wonderful to be here. Goodness gracious, my Sangha. Look at all my wonderful friends here, my brothers and sisters. I am blessed. I am blessed. Being an analytical person and intellectually prone, I'm trying to get out of that into the experience of things. So it's like, what does it feel like? What's my experience? So give you a concrete example, when I'm in the now, I'm in the experience. And I'm finding that to be true over and over and over again. It's a sense of peace. It's a sense of allowing, whether I'm watching a television or I'm playing a game on the computer, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I'm coming from the now into this moment of whatever I'm doing. As an artist, like I create. I never know what's going to happen, but it happens. And I go, ooh, isn't that wonderful? So shape, form, color, and it just arises. Another example is I have a small balcony off my apartment, and and I have planters outside that hanging planters. And in a corner, there's a bird, looks like a small dove who has laid her eggs, in this planter. And at first I would go out there and she would be frightened and fly away. And the experience of one being to another being, she doesn't fly away anymore when I come out to water all the other plants that are out there. She just is, and we look at each other. And yesterday I was watering, yesterday being time, I was watering and I went out and I looked at her. And I thought about leaving her breadcrumbs. And I thought, okay. But when I looked at her and really stopped, and in that now moment, I was her. That was remarkable. It was so delicious. I went, we're the same. We're the same, the energy. We're the same, as Richard was talking about energy. And there's another example is other tenants have a a bulldog, a very old French bulldog. And they're from the States and they came here. And that old bulldog is very old. That bulldog is just like me. I may be ageless, but this body tells me, well, yeah, you may be ageless, but you have a body. And I look at that bulldog, and I scritch the head of the bulldog, and I say, "Good morning." Her name is Franny. "Good morning, Franny." And she looks at me. And she and I are one. In the now. And I can't emphasize that enough because I'm finding over and over the experience of the now is so expansive. All right, I'm going on and on.
No, you're not actually, and you're drawing me to something that Rana brought up yesterday, and Cindy brought it up actually in the morning gathering with chapter 22 in the text. And there's a sentence in the text that says, "At no single instant does the body exist at all." In no single instant does the body exist at all. And that's actually such a lesson in quantum physics, or quantum physics is such a lesson in that, because everything is always blinking in and out of existence, right? It's always blinking in and out. And what this sentence tells us is that in the holy instant, we are constantly made new.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And we are constantly recreating a reality in every instant, and all of it is us. All of it. So everything that is within, as the guides call, our purview is us. So the bulldog, Franny, is you. Yes. Yes, in that holy instant.
And don't forget that sweet baby bird or the mama bird.
And the bird, all of it.
Beautiful.
Thank you for that.
And what a gift. Why did that bird choose to lay her eggs? I don't know the answer to that. That's where my analysis comes off of, because blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter
It
because
doesn't matter.
everything is a vehicle for God's expression.
Right.
Everything.
My
so-
ego comes in and says, well, she's chosen this place because of you. Really?
It's a gift anyway.
I know. I was just making fun of myself when my ego gets involved. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Lana, you've been very patient. It's good to have you here.
Thank you,
It's even
Lonnie, for
better
your
to be here.
patience.
I don't think I was being patient. I was just being. But as good as it is to have me here, it's as good as it is to be here. Wow. What is resonating so loudly is God's being, God's being, God's being, God's being. And in the sitting with it is, holy shit, we kind of got that wrong. We put the emphasis in the wrong place. It is not that we are beings that God has created. We are literally the being of the divine and physical expression. We are the God's being. That's why we carry the energy of creation, because we are literally the energy of the divine in the physical being of this presence. This lesson, I know you might say it's ego that says this, but this was so in this experience just for me today. When I say just for me and all of us too. Because here I am back in a place, in a city where for so many, and has such a history of telling me I cannot exist and that I'm not supposed to exist and that I can't exist in this way. And I'm being invited to be exactly who I am in God's creation right now. It's friggin' awesome. But that recognition, and that was in the reading this morning that I did. And I know, Cindy, you said, the next book kind of brings it all together at once. But the instruction I was given a couple of years ago was to go through book by book. And so while I'm waiting for Divine Union, I went into the next one, which is the one right before Divine Union that the world made new. And in the lesson today, it was this: God's being and the awareness and truth of what we are as that, as the being of the divine in physicality. That's fucking profound. I'm with you, Richard. Once years ago, there was an agreement within this system that we were staying, that we weren't going to get rid of this body and kill ourselves off. The question came then, what are we doing here? And when I fully stopped pushing against it, all these answers came. And all of it was around God's being. And I'm here, and right now, that's why I'm just so full, because I could see it and I could hear it. And I said it in a meeting yesterday. I don't know this fucking person anymore. Because every time we look out of these eyes, all that's seen is God. And I didn't know, I don't know. Why would I recognize this being, this person? Because she's never been in fullness like this before. It makes sense. I'm so grateful for all of you. I'm so grateful for the energy of this room, for the love, and for being with you guys and never ever feeling like I'm not supposed to be. That is God's being, all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you all.
Oh, we love you too, Lonnie. So much. It's always great to have you here. We miss you when you're not here. Even just the sound of your voice. It's like maple syrup to me.
There's a number of people here in New York that are trying to get me to start a Instagram thing. And they said to just start talking every morning about what God has given you, and people will listen.
It's true. True. I love Instagram. Okay, thank you. Sandra and then John.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I love the way you described your intention for us to have a direct experience in these meditations. And I just want to tell you that I do. And the sound of your voice as it leads us to drop all of the externals, just be and listen, is quite beautiful. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And I'd like, because of what's been shared, I really want to read something to you, if that's okay. It'll only take a couple of minutes. I read this the other day and just so perfect. And here's how it goes. I am lively, filled with awe and wonder. There is a glorious, unseen flow at the heart of all creation, moving in and through me. As I align with this sacred energy, I feel vibrantly alive. I imagine myself part of the great living whole. I am one with the trees whose boughs sway in the wind, with the mountains and hills echoing with ancient voices, with the waters trickling over stone. Even the quiet herb hums a sacred song. Today, I will listen more closely, breathe more deeply, and move with intention. I'll add, I am as God created me to that. Life is not separate from me. I am its expression. In harmony with its rhythm, the world begins to sing. I recognize its lively song is singing me too.
Beautiful.
I just thought that was so perfect for what's been shared.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sandra. That was great. Beautiful. Good morning, John.
Good morning, my sweetheart. Good morning, my darlings. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll just be brief because our time is short and I have a brief message. But it came to me, and it came to me again with that sacred song and the singing that Sandra was talking about. Because when I heard the bird sitting on those eggs, and it came to me, what are those eggs for? And it came to me, it's all about creation today, creation story for me. And it's a creation of a new bird and of a new song. And who is that song for? Who's it by? And then I got my answer. That bird will sing for me, and it will sing for thee. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. You know, the guides are telling us that we are moving to a higher tone or a higher vibration. And that has to include everything around us, everything that we perceive. And that means that we have to also, we don't have to do anything, but that also includes all the lower vibrations, right? So all of it, we are just including more and more and more within our recognition of the self. And that's what this lesson points me to as well. I am an expression. I am a vehicle for God's expression. And that's what everything else than this seemingly separate material world is. That's what it is. And the more I realize that, and the more I embody that, the more blurred the lines get between what is me and what is not me. And I love that. I just love that. And so, yeah, all is all. And as John said, it's all for me. Right? The song is all for me. So we're going
It
to
is
gather.
all for the divine
It is all for the divine.
that expresses as you
As
and
me.
is of each of us.
And what is
In
all
my system is
encompassing
playing.
can have no opposite.
Can have no.
In my system is
Wait, say
playing
it,
the
Bonnie.
song "Ripples Become Waves." It's a reggae song made by a Jewish man, but yeah, it's almost like we're all these
I'm
beautiful
gonna listen.
ripples that are expressing.
Last night, yesterday, I was watching these ducks just dive. I've never seen them dive so deep, and the ripples they made in this like beautiful turquoise water. It was just like, and I was just imagining myself as that duck. I was like imagine that experience right there, just diving into the water, and then like you were watching their little feet just like stay for a moment, and then they shoot right back up. It's like it's just the meditation this morning. I was just watching like beautiful electric blue in my eyes and just like feeling such like peace. Yeah, it landed very
I
nicely.
love that. I love that. I love that electric blue. Thank you. We're going to meet again in an hour. Who's leading?
Linda Joy.
Linda Joy. All righty.
I love us all very, very much. And let me stop the recording. Stop recording. And